Yes, but what I'm trying for you to focus on, the reason for that is because we intrinsically have those similar conceptual beliefs. I'll give you an example. Like, for example, there was a generation back in this country where the father would have the authority. In 1989, they repealed the Children's Act, and now the father is like a little beggar in his own home. The women's control affairs, and men are frightened now. This is the reality. And we as Muslims, we have this, the man is in authority. Okay? And they don't, the powers that be, they're giving all the authority to women. So these are all points for you to address, that in terms of things such as the concerns that the indigenous communities may have in terms of the influx of immigration. We all got to realize, you see, the base structure of the economies of these countries, they need immigration to uplift the economy. After the Second World War, when Britain was flattened as a result of what happened historically, they needed to bring these migrants in from the Commonwealth countries to build up the infrastructure. Otherwise, the country was in tatters.
Listen, mate, everything you're telling me is nothing done.
Only thing I say to that is there's too many.
So what we would say, see, their counter argument with respect is that Britain has historically, it's taken a lot from those countries. You know, all the resources that we have over here, the bricks, for example, the same thing, salt, all the commodities. Unfortunately, they looted in many countries. They brought it all back. That's a fact, you see.
All it is social media spreading this horrible fucking bullshit. You know, there's bad people in every community.
Yes.
You know, obviously there's people that have, you know, there's rapists, there's in every community.
Also, the thing I would say is that no disrespect, they're not letting all these people in, but they're not building new schools, new hospitals.
Which they should, I totally agree with you. I mean, just for example, gentlemen, this is not a criticism, please don't think so, but you're drinking alcohol currently. Now, did you know, as a result of alcohol consumption, there is much more of a burden on the NHS. Billions of pounds a year. Oh yes, check it out. Billions of pounds a year.
But that's what we do. That's what we've done for ages.
No, but what I'm saying to you, no, because these gentlemen were making mention of the fact that the burden on the NHS, he was making mention about the hospitals.
Right, okay.
So I was saying that as a result of alcohol-induced incidents which occur.
You guys have no burden on this, so you boys integrate well. Like,
No, I'm just trying to make a point about this.
See the Hindus, see the Sri Lankans, we all get on well.
Yeah.
The Islamic, listen, it is what it is, but you're trying to change Britain to something that you've left to come and change this where you've left.
Right, so I'm just trying to explain that.
And with the British patriotic flag, and we've invaded, we've done this, and we're arseholes, and now it's the fault of the British. What about the Spanish? What about the Portuguese? What about the Ottomans? What about the Italians? What about the Germans? You're a racist. You know what I mean?
That's why I don't agree with that nonsense. Because what I was just trying to tell our friend about alcohol consumption.
This is London, mate.
No, but listen to what my argument is. See if it makes sense. If it don't make sense, disagree with me. But what I'm saying that you're gonna just say, for example, you go home, an incident occurs
What's
as a
the age
result.
of consent in Islam?
Age of consent varies depending on where you are.
Varies, yeah. Let me leave.
So even over here in the UK, did you know King Richard II?
What's the age of consent in Islamic? What's the age of consent?
Puberty.
What's the age of puberty? What,
Yeah.
12?
Well, did you know? Let me explain to you. According to the New Testament, Jesus, he married his father Joseph, who was 90, married.
I'm not talking about some man in the sky. I'm talking about real living. I've got a 6-year-old girl. I'm talking about real life.
Yeah.
So I don't care who's in the sky. I don't care who you believe in. I don't care who I believe in. What I'm saying is, I would never go near a 12-year-old girl.
Yes.
Never, because that's wrong.
Because just let me. Okay, now
your religion, you think that's right?
No, I don't think
Let's
that's right. Now, hang on a second, gentlemen. Let me make my point. You're just running. Just remember. See, you know, historically, life expectancy was very short in the UK, going back just a few generations ago. Did you know King Richard II, our royalty, our nobility, period of the realm, what was he all about? He married a 6-year-old girl called Isabella, the Queen of France. Yes, go and check it.
What, hundreds and hundreds?
Isabella, King Richard II.
How many years ago was that?
That's about 6 centuries ago.
Yeah.
A 6-year-old girl?
Yes, go check it out. He married a 6-year-old girl. That's that. You know, in the United States. You know, in the United States, a girl could get married in the state of Delaware up until 1962 at the age of 7. Check that. If you think I'm speaking a load of pony.
We know.
Okay.
You know.
No, but what I want you.
They're going to edit these videos and they're going to make you get out.
No, we're not going to edit any.
Richard, let's go.
Yeah. So unfortunately, with our friends over here, inside they're not bad people. I don't believe.
we're not.
They're not bad. They're not bad people.
wanna have a
Yeah, let me just
The thing is now,
let me just finish my. I need to make a conclusion.
We have to stop the conversation by labelling you far right, far left, blah blah blah. Sometimes it's not that. You can have the same. Two things can be true at one time. You can be concerned about this, that, and the other, but you can also, if you want to live in this country, I have no problem. I don't want to stand in front of the camera. I'm happy for you to live in this country. Blah blah blah. Like I would treat you as family. If you live next door to me, I would treat you as anything else.
Yes,
that's absolutely fine. But we are allowed to have our concerns without being labelled far right.
Fair enough. And I agree with what you're saying. To be honest, that's my personal opinion. However, I just making mention to your friends about alcohol consumption. We were making mention about how this. Let me just make my point.
You're just trying to find a way out of the
No,
conversation.
just hear me out. You haven't even given me an opportunity to expand my point. You don't even know what I'm going to say. Okay, so you were here because I was about to make a point. You jumped in, realizing I was saying that you're not bad people. I didn't know you were listening on to that.
We're not bad people.
So, but I'm
we're
giving
concerned people.
Exactly.
But we're not allowed to express our concerns, and that's
you should be allowed to. I agree. You should be allowed to, but not at the behest.
But how do we do that then?
So how do you do that? Excellent point. For example, I was telling your friends, if you are of a certain,
that's why we're here. That's why we're in conversation.
So if you're of a certain, you share much in common with us more than you realise. It's people on the far left
you're not
who are propagators of LGBTQ, feminism, and atheism. These are the people who are really your enemies because we share. Even if you are far right, I've got no problem with the far right.
I'm not far right.
No, if you are, I'm not saying you are. I didn't say. But if you are far right, intrinsically, the far right they hold onto the authority of the father within the home. That's what Islam invokes as well.
It's cool.
Anyway, there's the problem with drunkenness. This is the issue they have. You see.
We're rejecting what they're saying. Look, listen. I had a conversation with you.
I did think I had.
Let's go. Listen, that's what it is. Let's just live together.
But I want you to
live together.
Yeah.
Let's keep this country how it is.
Definitely.
Let's not be called far right for expressing our concerns. And let's live
I agree.
together.
I told you I agree with what you're saying because we've got a lot in. I was just about to expound the point. If you'd listened, maybe you'd have thought, you know what, this guy's got a point. Like I said to you, just give me 2 seconds.
Friends that are Muslim, and I get that.
All right, my friend, but I just want to make a quick point. Just let me make my
Standing
point.
in London promoting something that we're not standing for, so that's what I'm saying.
So what exactly do we say you don't
What
agree
you
with?
want in life, like this is not an Islamic country.
No, but what exactly? For example,
want?
no. For example,
What do you want?
no. I'll give you an example of what I
do you
want.
want in life?
So,
What
so
do
we
you
want.
want?
Everyone wants peace.
Sharia law, you've left
So
Sharia law.
no, hang on. Everyone wants peace. Hang on. So you're running.
right.
Yeah. So the peace is attained. I was about to give an example of alcohol consumption.
Fuck alcohol, don't
So you don't.
kids.
So you don't
That's
want.
what
No. What I'm. Right. So in terms of alcohol consumption.
We could go tit for tat. You could say something in my.
But you're not
life.
even letting me
No,
finish. I can't even make my.
also say
Making a
something
point.
in your life.
Let me make my point.
Remember, we had a nice conversation.
Yeah.
Alcohol,
So.
alcohol's
So you-
no good, but I can stand here and agree
But do we
with
know what destruction that causes the NHS? Billions of pounds a year are wasted on the NHS as a result of alcohol-induced
agree.
crap.
I'm not
So why are
ignorant
we?
to that
Yes, okay, excellent. So as we agree, and you've been noble enough to agree on that point, so hence we should have a commonality that if alcohol is causing so much social incohesion, surely that's something that one should desist from then.
Yeah, but I also agree that every person on this planet should have their own decisions to live.
I agree with that, yeah.
And consequences. Right?
Yeah.
If someone wants to go and drink alcohol,
Yeah.
then they live by them consequences.
Yes, but at the same time, it's putting a burden on the state, on the National Health Service, which you are very eager to maintain. Billions of pounds a year.
But the problem is the NHS is finished. Like from when I was.
Well, it would be.
I'm 28 years old, yeah. The NHS difference from when I was younger to when I am now is finished. So there's no point trying to say that to say that you're trying to save the NHS.
No, but what I'm saying
is gone.
But hang on a second. One second. One of them made complaints to the NHS. Okay. I think there is a way to repair it. If you give me 2 moments.
What,
Now,
being Muslim?
no, hang on. See, let me finish my point. That's not a respectful answer, is it? Let me tell you the way to repair it. Just say those billions of pounds which are wasted as a result of alcohol-induced issues that occur. If people desist from alcohol, and let me finish. They don't get drunk. That will save billions on the NHS, which will go into more hospitals.
I agree.
So you were agreeing then?
Oh yeah, we do agree. But the problem is, do you trust the government that we live under?
I don't trust them. No.
Exactly. So if they find a way to save money here, do you think they're going to go, oh yeah, oh no what? We've got all this money left over, so we'll pump it into that.
Fair enough, but the point still fair enough, but the point still remains that if, for
Yeah,
example,
my problem's with the government. It's not with this,
I know.
and this is what I'm trying to say. I'm
Do you
not
love
far
Muslims?
right
You love
because I love anyone. I love anyone that abides by the country that we live in.
Yeah, we do actually.
Yeah, cool. That's what I mean. I've got no problem with you. I've got a problem with the government that are trying to fob everything off because of this, because of that.
See-
We just agree to the fact that even if we stopped like branding alcohol, blah blah blah, we'd have millions for the NHS.
Billions.
We are guaranteed none of us believe that the government would reinvest that into the NHS. And this is what I'm saying. Like, we need to come together to say we're being wrong done by the people in charge. You can't argue with that.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You can't argue with that.
Okay, nice speaking to you. All the best to you. Thank you. So
I'm just observing.
that's all right. It's all right. We're just going to make a finish.
Of course,
Yeah.
go ahead, go ahead. I'm not in the way or anything.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We just want to. Yeah. So yeah.
No, I think I've seen you guys outside the Westfield over in Shepherd's Bush.
Yeah. Not us particularly, but people who may be affiliated with us.
Same thing, different thing.
So let me tell you what's going on here, brothers. Essentially speaking, having had a reasonable conversation with this person, we agree on a lot of things. However, what he wants to actually say is that we're not happy with immigration. Now, if they're not happy with the immigration, intrinsically they're not happy with people of different colours and different trends coming through. If they're unhappy with illegal immigrants who are what you call criminals, then yes, they've got a very valid point. But intrinsically, they're simply not happy with immigrants coming in. The very people who have built up the structure of this country when it was under bombardment from the Germans, Second World War, it needed to rebuild its empire, or rather its country. And so therefore, they got people from the Commonwealth countries like the Asian subcontinent, like the Caribbean and the Africans. They brought them over here to rebuild the task, working in factories, in the underground, doing all the menial jobs that the indigenous Englishmen didn't want to do. So that's why they gave them these jobs, getting paid tuppence for working there. So these were obviously wars which were created by obviously the British to a large extent. They created a lot of this. They're not the only ones. Like one of the guys said earlier, the other European countries did like for example Portugal or Spain or the other European colonial powers. So what we essentially observe is within the preamble of this particular understanding is the intrinsic dislike of people of different backgrounds. Now, if they're saying illegal immigration is no as a result of criminal illegal immigration, then hey, we're in agreement with them. But at the same time, I think it's more than that. It's just simply, if an immigrant comes up, is willing to work hard, do those menial tasks that they're not prepared to do, and the average person's not prepared to do, then there's no issue with immigration. Let all illegal immigrants come in. Once upon a time, we were immigrants. So, you know what I mean? To say all of a sudden, oh, we shouldn't allow immigrants to come in and people of colour should go around saying this as well, that's nonsensical. It makes you sound like a complete buffoon. So, in essence, what we're observing is that this is the thinking process of a lot of people. They're not all bad, they're not all like thinking negatively, but at the same time, there is that element of the stiff upper lip or the stiff puffy nose like that, thinking we're superior, and that is what it's really genuinely all about. So they're not happy with us propelling such discussions, such as inviting people to Islam as well, because they're seeing people accepting of their own volition, of their own decree. You know, no one's been forced to accept Islam. We've got brothers here from different backgrounds who have come into Islam. We've spoiled Ryan, we've seen other brothers here, Yusuf, we've seen Hamza, we've seen other brothers who accept Islam. So this is what we're inviting people to do, and they just don't like it, to be honest. They don't want their people coming to Islam when they're choosing to do so. This is the sad oxymoron of it all. And this is an attempt by Israel as well to really use people like Tommy Robinson to stop the truth of the Zionist movement coming out of what they've perpetuated and what they've done in Palestine, in Gaza over many decades, and now they're trying to cause this friction. Tommy Robinson is in fact their super agent. He's off to Israel. He always takes their advice what to do. He's the one who creates the anarchy so that the public opinion, which is firmly shifted against Israel, if they shift the issue to immigration, then they could have another enemy to counter, as opposed to looking at the brutal acts that Israel is doing. So this is a master plan in themselves, but it's doomed to failure, inshallah ta'ala. Make dua for everyone. And sorry for us here in London in the relative easy comfort of doing dawah with the brothers and sisters who are dying in Palestine today, who've got no food, no water, no shelter. Everything is collapsing around them. You know, they are the ones who are truly suffering. We are just doing these minimal works as just a source of, you know, may Allah accept, but at the same time they are the true heroes of Islam. May Allah guide us all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Any questions?
you want to take these, brothers? Inshallah. Good afternoon, my friend. Free information. Islam, very informative. Very, very.